Hello, what's up and welcome. My name is Maisie if you're new here, and today I'm going to be doing an update on my IKEA Milsbo Greenhouse, which I've had for about 2 months now. I made a video of when I set my cabinet up and putting all my plants in. It has changed quite a bit since then, so I thought I'd give a 2-month update. So I'll give you, oh, can you hear the fan? I'll turn them off. Okay, so I will give a little tour, a brief little tour of the plants that I have in there, and basically what I think to the cabinet, how my plants are doing, and basically a little review, what I think to the cabinet so far. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so here's a rough overview. I've got, as you can see, some plants on top as well. I just have 4 plants. Trailing plants, but let's just go straight in. Before I do, I'll just quickly show you my hygrometer that I've got. So at the moment the humidity, well, it's 30 degrees in there, but the humidity is 74%, which is, it's usually higher, but my fans, as you heard, were on, so it just lowers the humidity, helps with airflow, but it's usually 85 or 90% without the fans. I will talk about the fans and the lights and everything, but let me just show you the plants that I have first. Okay, so here is the first shelf. So as you can see, I've got a couple little propagations here. My new Hoya Grey Ghost that I recently just got, that's rooting in sphagnum moss. Then right next to it I've got a Syngonium albo cutting, my beautiful Hoya Croniana Super Silver, and then on this little tray I've got a few plants. I've got my Anthurium Silver Blush, my Anthurium Passate F Crystallinum, and my Philodendron Florida Ghost, which is actually going to have to be moved soon because it's getting a little bit big for this little tray. And then in here I've got a couple little corms. I've got some Alocasia Silver Dragon corms just there, and then I've got an Alocasia Polycorm as well with a baby little leaf just there. And then in the other one I actually have some, oh my goodness, I actually have some Philodendron Melanochrysum cuttings. Yeah, this leaf needs to be chopped off, but there's actually a new little leaf just there. How exciting is that? So yeah, they've been in there for a little while now. I'm not sure if they're rooted, but yes, I think they're doing well. Okay, so then down here I've got my Philodendron Squamiferum, and then back here my Alocasia Silver Dragon, my little Philodendron Brazil, oh my goodness, that looks terrible. And then back here I've actually got my Philodendron El Guapo, which I just recently talked about in my plant favourites. And then back here I've got a couple Philodendron Splendid cuttings, which are just rooting in perlite. And then at the front I've got my Philodendron Gloriosum, she's doing so well. And then next to her is my Alocasia Cuprea. She's just sprawled out everywhere. I've tied her stems together just to kind of, because her leaves are literally just going everywhere. Anyway, this is her new leaf. It was getting a little bit squished by the other plant, so I have moved her. Hopefully she will do a little bit better in this position. Oh, and then behind her I've got another one of my new plants, my Monstera dubia cutting, also rooting in moss. And then here my beautiful Monstera albo, again who I just recently talked about. Yeah, a couple of these plants are getting a little bit too big, and yeah, so I might have to move them or take them out, I'm not really sure. But anyway, let's just go on to the second and last shelf. So back here I've got my Philodendron Majestic, and then down here my little baby Silver Sword, well, Silver Dust. And then here I've also got my Pubicalyx, my Hoya Pubicalyx Super Splash. Here is my beautiful Philodendron El Choco Red with her newest leaf. Pretty sure this one's got thrips or some other kind of pest, so she's got some damage marks on her. But anyway, down here I've got a few propagations as well. Another new plant, my Maranta, my variegated Maranta, which is actually starting to root. How exciting is that? So yes, I'm glad to see she's doing well. And then I've also behind her, I've got a majestic cutting with a new leaf on the way just there. And then I've also got another Monstera dubia cutting, again rooting in moss. Here is my begonia maculata. She just literally looks like that all the time. She never grows. And then finally I've got my very sad Anthurium warwickwianum. She was like infested with thrips, so I've treated her and will continue to treat her, but yeah. Okay, so now I'll talk about some of the products that I'm using in this cabinet. So these are my grow lights. Everything I use is linked below, but I've got 2 grow lights just at the top here, and I got these from Amazon, and they just come separately like this, and you can either use them just as like a separate light or link them together like I have. And I've just used 2 so that the back plants and the front plants can get the light, and then I control the lights and the fans by an app on my phone. And I also have got 2 fans that run 2 times a day for about an hour and a half, which again I control by my phone. And obviously that just helps with airflow. That usually brings the humidity from like 90 to 75, but the humidity will then rise again once the fans turn off. So I just have the fans running 2 times a day, in the afternoon and of an evening. And then I've also got another one down here as well. And then I've also just got 1 strip light just there. As you can see, the leads are on show a little bit, but they're not too bad. These ones are just kind of tucked to the back, but I couldn't really do much else with this lead, but it's not too bad. The plants just kind of take away from that. And then actually I saved on using a whole other cable, so I just added this connector to this one so I don't have to use a whole other cable and plug. Okay, so you'd have to ignore the flashing, sorry about that, but I'm just showing you what it looks like with the lights on. So my lights come on at around 4:30, and then they stay on till about 10, and that's overnight, so they're getting around 6 to 7 hours of light. So like I said, I use an app on my phone, it's called HBN. So my lights come on at 5:30 in the evening and then turn off at 10:30. And I've got my lights and my fan on an automated timer, so I don't even have to go on the app, they just turn on by themselves, which is great. Also, another good thing, oh my gosh, sorry. Another good thing about these lights is you can actually turn them off separately, which is quite cool if you are going to use that. I mean, obviously I don't because I have all of them on, but you can turn like specific ones on if you want to. I really like these grow lights. I think my plants have done so well with these grow lights, especially my Monstera albo with its variegation, and my other variegated plants have just been loving the light. And also my Hoyas, oh my goodness, they have benefited so much from the grow lights. One of my Hoyas, as you saw, the Croniana, is like right underneath the grow light, and I mean obviously Hoya is just gonna love that. If I didn't say, those lights are LED as well, and I mean I definitely recommend those lights. I just got them from Amazon like I said, and I really do think they are good quality. I definitely recommend those grow lights because I really do think they are great. And yes, like I said, it will be in the description, so will everything else if you want to go have a look. So I have also got weather stripping. As you can see, I've actually just got it along the door just here. So this sticky bit I just stuck on this side, obviously. And then I closed this door first, and then obviously just seals in that humidity. And then I've also got it in both of the corners of the doors. This one, the sticky bit, is actually on the outside, and then on this side it's on the inside. But I do find that when I open and close the door, sometimes like the flappy bit, it kind of gets stuck and goes through the door, so I have to just keep pulling it out like that, which is a little bit annoying. But I thought I would just try the sticky bit on the inside just to see if it prevents that problem, but it doesn't really actually. In fact, this side doesn't do that as often, so maybe I'll like redo it and have the same as it is on that side. And then I also have it on the top as well, you can see, and I think that really does help with the humidity. And I also have it on the top on this side as well, and that runs all the way down to the bottom. I mean, I definitely noticed a difference with the humidity without it. It was it was about 60% humidity, and then with the weather stripping it went up to like 90, so it really does help. And I would definitely say definitely get the weather stripping because it is definitely worth it. Okay, my plants, okay, let me just shut that because that is extremely noisy. Okay, so now I'll just give a little review and my thoughts of this cabinet since I've got one. As you can probably tell, I love my cabinet, one of the best things that I've bought, and my plants have definitely benefited. I do not regret buying this. Obviously it can be a bit expensive. I bought mine secondhand, so it was a lot cheaper. Otherwise I don't think I would have been able to afford a brand new one. So yeah, if you can get like a secondhand one, it is brilliant. Mine does have a couple of scratches, but with a little cleanup, you know, it's you know, almost perfect. I also just think it looks really like clean and like aesthetically as well. I just love the way that it looks, and it just like creates way more room. Like I said, I've got plants on the top and they benefit from the light inside, so I've got like 4 trailing plants and they all benefit from the light inside, and yeah, I just can have way more plants that I wouldn't have the space for. It's also just really rewarding to see your plants like do so well in contrast with how they were doing before. I feel like at least some of my plants have really just shot up with their growth, and obviously with the humidity loving plants, their leaves are just pristine, and yeah, my plants are just really loving it, and they're looking so beautiful. I think that's about it. That's my thoughts. I mean, it's only been 2 months, so I don't have too much to say. I don't really have any tips other than, you know, only what I've said. But if you have any questions, then please let me know and I will do my best to answer them. So I am also hoping to eventually get the grilled, I was going to say, the grid, like acrylic shelves. I'd really like those. They can be a little bit expensive, or just like, you know, like a regular plastic grid shelf. That would also help with airflow as well. But I mean, with just having these glass shelves, my plants have been doing fine. I've had no airflow problems. Like I said, I've got the fans running. It's been a couple months now and everything seems fine. And also obviously I have got the pegboard, which you have to be a bit careful of about rotting and mold, so I would eventually like to swap that with again a grid board. I mean, yeah, that's like my reviews on that. The fans, they're just the regular desk fans. They can be really noisy, especially that second one. Oh my goodness, it's so loud. I have to keep constantly moving it because it just keeps banging against the glass or the plants or something. So if you were to get something like that, then they can be a little bit noisier, and obviously they aren't waterproof either. But like I said, I've had no problems yet. It also helps with watering. I mean, you don't have to water as much because of the high humidity, which is good. I mean, I water all these plants at different times, to be honest, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I mean, yeah, I water I hardly ever water these plants, maybe every 5 days to a week. Obviously the littler plants need a bit more watering, and I keep on top with the moss poles, but other than that, I don't have to water these plants quite as often. The moss poles also keep pretty moist, which is brilliant because obviously trying to top up moss poles every day can be a little bit annoying. I've only got 2 in here. But yeah, these stay moist for probably a good 3 days. Yeah, it's probably a good 2 or 3 days before I just top it up, and even then they're still pretty moist, and I could probably leave it another couple of days and they'd be okay. Yeah, so I think that's everything. I think I've covered everything I can think of. Like I said, if you have any more questions, then please leave them in the comments. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and I will do another update on my cabinet I'll maybe do like a year update. I really enjoyed doing this update. I love sharing my plants updates and how they're doing, and my cabinet plants are honestly just some of my favourite plants, and I am just so pleased that I managed to get one. But yes, I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more, you know what to press, and I will see you in my next video soon. Bye!